Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Raid and episode 5 of our Let's Build an Offensive System series. And we are going to be moving on to the last run scheme that we are going to add to this offensive playbook, and that is the power scheme. And for me, power scheme is just a general catch all term for gap schemes, where with zones, we are giving the running back multiple gaps to run through. With a power scheme, you are creating a design gap for that ball carrier to run through. And I like the zone scheme because it gives you more options, it gives you more flexibility, but having a solid power scheme in your play arsenal can be an effective counter to any defensive adjustments that you would have to the zone. And if we're talking inside zone, I always want to run my inside zone towards a 2-eye, a 1-tech defensive tackle. That makes it easier for me to set up a double team and allow a cutback, double team, cutback, etc. If we get a situation where the defensive alignment is flipped, obviously I can't make a double team here. And what it's going to create is a bad angle for, yes, we can get a double team here, but can this double team reach the will linebacker? And are we going to expect our backside tackle to be able to climb and get the Mike linebacker? That can be difficult. Now, obviously, we talked about it in the inside zone scheme video that we can run veer coming back this way and we can hit it. But what if we still want to work A gap to A gap, work downhill? Well, that's where the power scheme comes in. And so the first power play that we're going to be talking about here is just a basic trap. And then we're going to use this basic trap to set up our blocking scheme and the rules that follow with the power scheme, at least in my system. So for me, my 30 plays are my power scheme. This is 31, so we're going to be running into the one gap right here. Power scheme is always first set by the guy who's pulling. And in this case, it is my backside guard. We're going to pull. We're going to kick out that defensive tackle. And then from that point, everybody is going to be, we're going to be working down blocks. First, we're going to be setting what I call the pull check. Closest defender to the puller needs to be blocked with priority. And in this case, we always try to get the closest blocker to that guy to set what we call the pull check. He is important right there. And then everyone else, we are working down block, and we would have a release on the backside. Now, if we get a situation like this, where we have two inside backers, a lot of times what I will run is actually a double pull, essentially, to make this easier. We'll get a down block here. We call this a cowboy combination. We'll just kick out right there. And then we would climb here to seal on the backside. So we're creating a wall right here. We're making a better angle to get a block on the inside linebacker here. We get this guy sealed. And then as we do with all of our run plays, we are going to have a read off of the backside, and we read it just like inside zone read. He crashes, we keep. He keeps contained, we get. Now, the running back is working to the A gap, and he needs to stick it there. Now, with the alignment of the defense, this shouldn't be a problem. We should be able to get downhill through the A gap. We create a seal right here. We're going to create a seal right here. And then hopefully, if we do this right, we're going to get a seal right here from the tackle on the second level linebacker. All right, so that's just what we're doing there is we're taking a run play that we normally run, the inside zone, and we're coming back with a complement to counteract a potential defensive line adjustment. Now we're going to come back and we're going to essentially build a counter play off of that base inside zone play, and that is the counter power. So what we're going to be doing here, we're going to pull, we're going to kick out the edge rusher right here, and then we're going to down block. We're going to we're going to get our pull check, which would be right here, and then we're going to down block, down block, down block, down block. Running back is going to step into the mesh like he would on inside zone, and then he's just going to bang it right back. Okay, and we call this 32 in my system. All right, so there we go. So we've got a adjustment to a defensive alignment change with the trap. We have a complement play to the inside zone on the counter. Okay, next up, what I want to be able to talk about is the dart play. Okay, this is another power scheme play, but this time we're going to pull a tackle. Okay, we're going to pull our left tackle here. He's going to pull and wrap around. You know, we can either just base block right here, or we can down block depending on how wide this guy plays. We're probably just going to play right there. We're going to get our pull check, and then we're going to get a down block here, and we're going to get a down block here. Our running back is going to work very similar to the outside zone run action, and then he's going to take it back inside, just like that. All right, and then one last power scheme play that we're going to work on, and this is one of my favorites, and that is the inverted veer. Okay, so we're going to come back here. So what we're going to do with the inverted veer, backfield action is going to be very similar to outside zone. Going to work wide here. Quarterback and running back are going to get in a mesh together. We're going to work wide. Okay, blocking scheme wise, our backside guard is going to pull, and he's going to lead through the gap right here. And we are going to get our down blocks. We're going to down block here. We're going to down block to the backside linebacker. We're going to down block the nose. We're going to down block the backside edge. And we're going to leave this play side edge rusher free. We're going to read him. Okay? If he squeezes because he feels down blocked, okay, like a good edge rusher is taught, then we're just going to give that ball, and the running back's going to work to the outside. If he has his eyes in the backfield and he's reading the mesh and he works wide, then we're going to ride that mesh, and then we're going to stick right behind. We're going to follow that pulling guard, and we're going to get upfield. Obviously, this play requires a quarterback with some true running ability. Zone read, you can kind of get by with because you're not going to be keeping it that often. This is the type of play where you're going to keep it 50% of the time. So you've got to have a pretty good athlete here at quarterback in this particular case. This works really well. I really love this kind of play. And I also love to run a variation of this where we would motion this slot receiver, have him turn back into pitch relationship. We bring this running back underneath in a shovel, and then we essentially run triple option here. That end widens, we'll shovel it inside. If he squeezes, we'll keep it, and we'll work pitch relationship here on the first guy who comes downhill, and whatever he picks is wrong. Harkening back to the old Urban Meyer Utah teams of the early 2000s. Great play design. A lot of moving parts. Save that one for last. You know, if your offense really has the ability to work like that, it's a great complement to your jet sweep. All right, so power scheme. Great complementary group of plays that can work off of both adjusting to defensive changes, but also to work as complementary counterplays to your zone schemes. And as much as you are built upon the zone game, you need to have a little bit of gap scheme in your system. At times, you just need to simplify things and just tell the running back where to go. All right, so there we go. That is the run game. So with the 10 series, the 20 series, and the 30 series, we have 3 base blocking schemes with 3 to 4 different backfield actions that help us multiply our run schemes where we can run the same blocking and give different actions. It makes it easier to rep these plays in practice. You just work on the backfield actions while the offensive line hone on running the same schemes over and over again, and you build a solid run game. Going into next time, we are going to start talking about the pass game, and we're going to start with the quick screen game. And for me, these are screens that don't involve any pulls. They just involve a series of either zone blocks or base blocks from our offensive line, and it's about getting the ball to our ball carriers in space as quickly as possible. But we'll save that for next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.